Okay, hi traders, Richard Jackson here again. This topic we're going to talk about how to correctly draw trend lines and how to make sure that we're looking at them correctly and how we can really put together some channels and use trend lines from different time frames on smaller time frames. Okay, so firstly, what I'm going to do just for the ease of this video is just delete these indicators so that we can see what's going on. I'm also going to knock off these moving averages just so that everyone can see this very clearly. Okay, so let's start off with zoomed out, and we are going to start off on a daily chart. Okay, so what we do want to do when we get our trend line, we want to have obviously the trend line. If we double click on the line and then go to right click and then have a look at the properties, we want to make sure that we've got this ray selected. Okay, what I might do is I might just thicken it up a little bit for the purpose of the video. Okay, so everyone can see it nicely. Okay, if I press backspace now or delete because I have it selected, it'll get rid of the trend line. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at. Well, I'm really focusing on what price is doing here at the moment, so we can see that we've been in an uptrend. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the lowest point in the recent history. Okay, and then I'm going to find the next lowest point that I can find. Okay, and you can see here that I've now got this low point here, the lowest low, and then the next lowest low, and we can see that we've obviously had a bounce there to continue the move to the upside. Now, I'm just going to leave that there. That might have some significance into the future as as time goes on, but what I'm going to also do now is I'm going to have a look at this low, okay, because obviously we've got more volatility, we've got steeper in the trend, okay, and I'm going to place from that low to this low, this retracement in here. Okay, so everyone can see that. Whoops. Now it's good to be specific with this. All right, and we also make sure that we understand that trend lines are an area. Okay, so we've had this. Let me just. Okay, so I've gone from here. This is my original. Let me use my square. I prefer the square. That's better. Okay. I might change the color of that. Rectangle properties, we make it something that's not so full on. There we go, that's better. Okay, so there's my initial point on the second trend line. There's my second point on the trend line, and we can see that we've had some significant touching there. And we've also currently got some significant touching here. So what we could do is we could assume that this may continue to the upside. All right. So what we can do also is, now that I've drawn my trend lines, now on an uptrend, we always draw the trend lines on the bottom. On a downtrend, we always draw them across the tops. Okay. Because what we're trying to find is a break of the trend line to signify a reversal in the trend. All right. Okay, so firstly what we want to do is if I've selected this trend line here and I want to see what's going on with the channel, I can just hold down my control key and move it, and it will just copy it. Okay. So I can assume that may be a channel in there. okay, if we've got any significance in it. Okay, so that may signify that this will keep moving to the upside right up into $1.32 mark. Okay, we don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but what we want to do is we want to double check on the fundamentals as well. All right, so that's how you draw an upward trend. And that's how you copy the trend line to have a look at the channel as well. If I do my last with my last indicator or drawing that I put on there, if I press backspace, it will just get rid of the last one. So let's have a look at a downtrend. I'm just going to have a look at this little downtrend in here. Okay. So here's my last significant high, and then I had one in here, okay? You can see that if I did that over these last two, then we've got an attempt to go short again there. If we've got the attempt to go short there, and when we have gone short, we may have been able to get a break even, but what we've also got is we've got a break of the trend line and then it being used as resistance and then in here as support. Okay, you can see here, and then we follow it down. We can also draw our next trend line across these, okay, and cross in there. Okay, all right, so there is the downtrends. Okay, so if we want to draw trend lines to on a downtrend, it's across the top. Trend lines and an uptrend, it's across the bottoms. Okay, now we've got a few fairly significant trend lines in there. We've done this on a daily chart, so this is a quite wide time frame. So let's just double check what it's going on on a 4-hour chart. Is this the same sort of story in here? Okay, so we've got plenty of bottoms and we've still got an uptrend going on in here as well. So let's take our last significant low and let's bring it to the next one in here. Okay, you can see here we've got an attempt, we've got kind of a double top in there, and then we've got an attempt to push right down into this trend line, didn't quite get there, and then we've got another significant move in here. It's broken through, it's had another attempt to the downside, it's broken up through, and then it's still using it as significant support resistance line. I'll teach you how to trade this later, but what I want to do, make sure right now, is that we're drawing these trend lines correctly. Okay. Now, if we see that we're really going sideways over here, right, trend lines really aren't going to help us too much. Okay. So what I want to make sure that we don't get in a trap of is having a look at, putting trend lines when we're really just tracking sideways. But what we want to do is we want to just get an area. All right. So what I might want to do is I might want to get rid of my ray when I'm doing this type of work. So let's have a look at this area in here, and now I've got a trend line, or basically a ceiling of resistance. Okay, so if we have a look at this play to the upside now, because we're coming off this significant daily trend line, and we come up into this ceiling, we may look for having our target in there, or we may want to be chasing our stop all the way up into the top. If we get a break of this and a reversal, we might want to place another limit order just in front of this resistance line, which will turn into support for a continuation to the upside. Okay, so having a look at trend lines and ceilings and obviously lows, or multiple areas where you've got support, they're going to have a significant effect on your entries and trading. Okay. Okay, one more thing that I want to describe to everybody is this. Okay, it is very significant in the market that if we have, let's say we've come up through here. Let's have a look at this high here, right? We've got a bunch of highs, and then we've got a bunch of we've had a break here. We've had some support back through here. We've had some more support back through here. We've had more support back through here. Then we've had a break, and then we've had resistance, okay, for further downside move. If we keep going all the way along, we can see that there's certain levels which have significant effect on the market on an ongoing basis, okay. You can see here, and none of this will never ever be perfect, okay. But if we use proper money management, we can get some good results out of the market just based on these type of theories. Okay, so we've got a ceiling, a break, a support, a break, resistance. Try to have another attempt up in here. Didn't quite get there. May have missed that if you're wanting to look for shorts in there. But we could see that there's this volatility is very strong to the upside. And then we've got resistance. And then we've got the break. Here's some little resistance. Then we've got break, and then we've got support up in here. Okay. All right. So trend lines and key levels are usually fairly significant. Okay, that's the end of that one. Practice away with drawing your trend lines, etc. One more thing here. Let's just zoom in a little bit further. Let's have a look at what's going on. Okay, even on smaller time frames, this has significance. So we've copped a top in here, and then we've got the break. Okay, we've copped this top. We've got a break, and then it's turned into support. Okay, with small plays, let's have a look at the distances in here. You know, you still get 50, 60 pips out of these moves. Okay, even if it's gone, if you're looking for further with money management, you start off with your stop below the last low. Let's say we've got a nice stop in there. As soon as we see that we're moving in our direction, we would have probably moved our stop right up into just under break even. Okay, in case it does turn around on you. Okay, I'll leave that one there.